Straight ahead on 12 News Weekend, Fall Referendum. More on the upcoming vote that will shape the future of Robbinsdale area schools. Then, giving Golden Valley a new look. See what's planned for the northern part of the city. But first, a jobs market that isn't working for everyone. Why some job seekers believe they aren't being treated fairly. 12 News Weekend starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. It can be one of the most time-consuming and challenging tasks out there. We're talking about finding a job. And it can be even more challenging depending on your skin color. This week, we visited a job fair that tried to do its part to close an employment gap. If finding a job is at the top of your wish list...
Well, here's my resume. Let me show you that first.
Then Hennepin Technical College in Brooklyn Park was the place to be on Thursday, as 129 companies from a variety of industries set up shop for the second annual Diversity Career Fair.
I hear good things about your company from a corporate perspective.
Brooklyn Park resident Michael Lopez is one of the many job seekers to make the rounds.
Do you all offer any year-round employment?
He's a part-time Metro Transit bus driver, but he's attempting to find a full-time job in the transportation sector.
It's a very good job, don't get me wrong, but it's a little monotonous, and I'm looking for something to help me use more of my brain cells more regularly.
While Lopez currently has a job, he admits it's difficult for other African Americans to find employment.
So there's situations like that I think happen regularly, where African Americans in general show up and aren't taken seriously.
According to the Department of Employment and Economic Development, Minnesota's unemployment rate last year was at 4.9%. But for African Americans, that number was at 15%.
At DEED, we're specifically focusing on that current unemployment rate and what can we do to help individuals get connected to either training or a job.
One immediate answer is this career fair. But in the long run, state officials say multiple factors need to be addressed.
Education, transportation, poverty, child care. These are the things that Governor Dayton has been very focused on while he's been in office.
Give you a diverse idea of my background.
Until those efforts bear fruit, people like Lopez will have to rely on their experience.
You got to door knock and door knock. Out of 100, you might get 2, but at least you got 2.
State employment officials say the industries with the most job growth right now are in construction and healthcare. Voters in the Robbinsdale School District face 2 key questions come November. They will decide on 2 levy requests. The first question asks for renewal of an existing $20 million operating levy. If approved, there would be no tax increase. Question 2 will ask voters to approve a $3.5 million per year technology levy. If approved, it would cost the average homeowner an additional $7 per month. Robbinsdale school officials say both questions are equally important to the district. The existing $20 million operating levy is 13% of the district's budget, or the equivalent of 225 teachers. District officials say the technology levy would provide infrastructure upgrades, support teacher training, and benefit students.
We live in a digital world, and in order to adequately prepare students to thrive in this digital world, they need the technology tools to be successful and those skills so that they can be successful in this 21st century workforce.
The referendum will be on the ballot November 4th. In our week in review, a drunken driving suspect appeared in court accused of hitting and killing a man in Brooklyn Park. 56-year-old Gary Rumpza was struck trying to cross Zane Avenue at Brooklyn Drive this week. That's right near his home. The criminal complaint says the driver kept going. Police arrested Anthony Frausto of St. Paul about a mile away. He's charged with criminal vehicular homicide and driving under the influence of alcohol. Frausto has 4 previous drunken driving convictions. Big development plans in New Hope are headed to the City Council. Iowa-based Hy-Vee is proposing a grocery store, gas station, and a new restaurant at the site of the former Kmart. The city's planning commission recommended approval.
1, 2, 3.
And now that the ceremonial dust has settled, real construction work can begin in Brooklyn Park. Governor Dayton joined state and local dignitaries to break ground on 2 business expansions along the Highway 610 corridor. Perbix Machine Company and Worth Adams Nut and Bolt are relocating there. They will each receive state funds by creating new jobs.
Golden Valley has its eye on new businesses and new jobs for an area that officials say could use a facelift. The city's northern gateway at the intersection of Winnetka Avenue and Medicine Lake Road is seen as a redevelopment opportunity. Right now, it's home to a VFW, a Dairy Queen, and an auto service shop. While plans are very preliminary right now, the mayor says the entire corner could be redone.
We kind of literally circled this area on the map as an area for future development opportunities, for housing, for enhanced commercial purposes.
Mayor Harris says a potential developer has also approached the city for that area. Drivers who use Highway 252 will encounter a big change come Monday night. Northbound 252 will be reduced to a single lane from 8 p.m. until 6 a.m. It will be that way for 2 weeks for resurfacing work. After that's finished, work will be done on the southbound lanes. Coming up on 12 News Weekend, one idea to get kids to eat their vegetables is to let them do the shopping, and it's working. That's coming up next.
Then later in sports, a former local prep basketball star from the area gets ready to start his professional career overseas.
But first, a chance for storms on Monday that could help drive out all of the humidity.
Summer vacations allow people to take a break. Unfortunately, medical emergencies never take a day off. It's why there's an urgent need for blood right now. At Memorial Blood Centers in Plymouth, they want to have at least a 3-day supply of the various blood types. Right now, they're below that.
I also work at Hennepin County Medical Center, where we're seeing the usual summer increase in people on motorcycles and out doing fun things, but sadly with fun things sometimes comes accidents.
Memorial Blood Centers say they are in need of all types of blood. Well, farmers markets often provide the missing link between the growers and the shoppers.
In honor of National Farmers Market Week, we went to the Maple Grove Market, where kids are realizing the power of produce. In the hustle and bustle that is the Maple Grove Farmers Market, this year you'll find the youngest shoppers are the ones perusing the produce.
Raspberries, because they're nice and sweet. Broccoli.
It's not by accident. The Maple Grove Farmers Market launched the POP Club, which stands for Power of Produce.
We're so excited about the Power of Produce Club because it's just really a way for kids to take ownership of trying new foods.
This summer, kids ages 5 to 12 can sign up to get their own shopping bag and a $2 token to spend on fruits and vegetables.
It's just so exciting for kids to have their own money to spend. And it's a little bit of pushback. You know, kids would kind of like to buy a cookie or they'd kind of like to buy bread, but we really want them to take the time to look and see what's here.
And the 6-week POP Club has been a hit so far, with around 600 kids taking part.
It's nice to see them take ownership for, being responsible for what they eat, and they actually fight over snap peas.
We've heard from several parents actually that kids are going home and having seconds and thirds of vegetables for dinner on Thursday night, and I know in my house that doesn't always happen, so that's a huge success right there.
But if you don't have a kid in tow and you are just looking for a deal, Kirsten says there's one simple trick for discovering the lowest price produce.
And that is just to look around at the market and see what is most plentiful.
And that's what will be the best deal of the week.
If you did a little price comparison, for example, right now on cucumbers and green beans between us and your favorite supermarket, we think we'd really come out on top because it's at the peak of the season for those green beans.
You can also check out the Minnesota Grown website to see what's in season at markets, knowing that what you buy should be as fresh as it gets.
Really, there is no better time, no better place than right now to try new produce because everything here at the farmers market is locally grown.
The Maple Grove Farmers Market, of course, is open every Thursday from 3 until 7, but in our area, there's a farmers market open nearly every day of the week. And Delane, it's always so much fun to go out there.
Love that, yeah. So you have the sense of pride eating something that someone grew as opposed to some, whatever.
And it all looks so good.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming up, a pleasant surprise that left a North Hennepin student in disbelief.
But first, a handful of local prep football teams are already back to practice. Jay Wilcox catches up with one local squad getting ready for the season next in sports. Welcome back. Jay Wilcox joins us now with sports. Summer winding down, and we're already talking about basketball. Here's some news going on.
That's right, and a little blast from the past. Good to see this guy again back at his old school. One of the top basketball players from the area was back in town this week before leaving to begin his pro career. 2009 Osseo graduate Sam Dower got some shooting in this week at his old school. The 6'9", smooth-shooting lefty finished his career at Gonzaga this past season. He says that it was fun to be back in the Osseo gym.
I haven't been to this gym in forever. It just brings back old memories. It's a blessing to just get back in here, where I played at my high school years. And, it just feels good, finally be back in this gym and be able to play.
Dower had a breakout season for Gonzaga, averaging 14.6 points and 7.2 rebounds. His goal is to play in the NBA, and he had a number of tryouts before signing with the team in France.
Well, the team is called Boulogne. It's like an hour away from a train ride from Paris. I don't really know much about them. I know it's in the Pro A League, the top league in France. I'll be playing against some of my old teammates from Gonzaga, but it started off when I went to LA to train for like a month to get ready for my pre-draft workouts with different teams. We're doing like 3 days there for a month. Get your body right, make sure you're in proper shape. And then I had my NBA workouts after that in June, and so I was flying around. I went to over 10, workouts with 10 different teams and stuff. So,
the French season starts earlier than the NBA, beginning in mid-September. The calendar just turned to August, but a few local football teams already have the first week of practice under their belts. The Hopkins Royals are one of the teams that will play a 0-week game to start the season. Those teams are able to start practice 1 week early. Early or not, these guys are eager to get started.
Actually, the kids are excited. They're yelling, they're screaming. The intensity is high during practice. We're making big hits. We're catching balls. We're making just plays. It's all around. So, yeah, hopefully the open day is fun. Everybody's a couple steps forward every day. So
we just got done of our summer camp, which was it was really good for the senior and underclassmen, just for them to just get better and just learn of the system of what's really going on and what's going to really happen this season.
This will be the last year with a need for 0-week games, which came as an aid to teams that were having trouble scheduling enough games. Minnesota switches to so-called district scheduling next year. That means a much easier scheduling process for teams like Hopkins.
Very happy. One of our games we have to travel to Kingsford, Michigan, and we have to stay overnight there and to play the game. And we're spending a lot of unnecessary money that we'd like to spend on helmets and shoulder pads instead of spending on going to Kingsford, Michigan. So next year, we'll get to play in the area and get to play teams from around here. It'll be real good.
The Royals open at home against Superior, Wisconsin, Friday, August 22nd. Well, it's getting to be a busy time at local high schools as athletes register for their fall sport. One school in the area has a new person leading the athletic department. Lambert Brown started last month as the activities director at Maple Grove High School. He replaces Ron Zopfe, who retired in June. Brown comes to Maple Grove after 4 years at Chaska High School, where he coached and also served as a teacher and a dean at the school. Now Brown says he's ready for the next challenge in his career.
I'm excited. I feel extremely privileged and just blessed to get an opportunity to do it. I've been able to do what I love, luckily, for my whole career. I've been able to work with kids and coach and do that for the last part of my career. And I'm kind of excited to move into this new realm and work with athletics and activities and kind of get a chance to work with an entire school building.
Brown was a head football coach for the past 6 years, 2 at Fridley High School and the past 4 at Chaska. The Hawks finished 11-1 a year ago. He admits he'll definitely miss coaching, but is looking forward to working with students and staff in a variety of activities.
Kids on a lot of different programs and just see all the great things that students are doing, and I'm lucky I get to do it in a great high school in a really good community. So I'm very excited about that.
Fall sports registration at Maple Grove, as well as the other 2 District 279 high schools, being done online this year. Practice in most sports begins Monday across the state, so you'll see a lot of activity around these schools already here in mid-August.
Everybody's getting ready.
That's
Thanks,
right.
Jay. Still ahead, a side to Hennepin County workers that paints a telling picture.
Plus, a North Hennepin student who was in for quite a surprise. Find out what it was next.
Welcome back, everyone. On the North Hennepin campus in Brooklyn Park, you'll find a student who is grinning from ear to ear.
For real?
For real? For real?
That was the reaction from Amdi Jarju this week after he learned he won a $5,000 scholarship from North Hennepin Community College. The money will help Jarju continue his education at a 4-year college. Jarju thought he was interviewing for the scholarship, but instead he found out he won one of North Hennepin's most prestigious awards.
I've been paying my tuition out of my pocket for 3 years, and this is just a relief.
He's an extremely deserving candidate. I mean, he's living here on his own, and you know, he has family, you know, far away, and he's trying to make a difference.
Jarju plans to start classes at St. Cloud State later this month, where he will major in economics. And now, art that shows a different side of government.
Reporter Alexandra Renslow shows us Hennepin County's workforce may have skills you might not have known about.
As a Hennepin County employee, Harold Torres processes cases for food stamps and other cash assistance programs. But there's always more to each one of us than our day jobs.
I taught myself to draw when I was 8, and I did it reading comic books.
Harold's pencil drawings of his favorite superheroes, Spider-Man and Captain America, are on display this month in Minneapolis, along with dozens of other paintings, photographs, and poetry, all done by Hennepin County employees.
We have the same things that everyone else has as far as needs, wants, and I think it puts maybe a face on government.
It helps show Hennepin County employees as people, shows that there's more to them than the work that the public sees.
For Harold, drawing is an outlet and stress reliever.
It helps me kind of decompress, helps me gather my thoughts, kind of unscramble the day.
On display at the Hennepin County Government Center, this collection of art shows a different side of the workforce, while reaching all walks of people who pass through the halls of this government building.
It is a cross-section of a lot of people, so we have to make that, take that into account and have it appropriate, but I hope entertaining and educational at the same time.
The artwork is on display at the Government Center in Minneapolis until August 27th. And I remember Alex saying about that story, he draws some of those characters without looking at anything, just from memory, because he knows that much about them, I guess.
Second career, maybe. You never know for some of these guys. Yeah, sure.
That would be neat to see. That's all the time we have for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Have a nice weekend. We'll see you again on Monday at 4 o'clock.